In the vast, windswept plains of Wyoming, where the spirit of the American West meets the pursuit of justice, one man carved out a legacy as a legal titan. Gerry Spence, with his cowboy hat, fringed leather jacket, and razor-sharp courtroom presence, was more than a lawyer. He was a champion for the underdog, a storyteller who captivated juries, and a maverick who never lost a criminal jury trial. From the Karen Silkwood case that shook corporate America to the Ruby Ridge standoff that challenged federal overreach, Spence's career was a masterclass in advocacy, earning him a place in the Trial Lawyer Hall of Fame. His books, like the New York Times bestseller How to Argue and Win Every Time, and his founding of the Trial Lawyers College transformed how lawyers fight for the poor, the injured, the forgotten. On August 14, 2025, at the age of 96, Gerry Spence passed away, leaving a legacy that echoes in courtrooms and hearts across the nation. Today, we're diving deep into the extraordinary life of Gerry Spence, his cause of death, age, family, net worth, lifestyle, and the biography of a man who lived to defend justice. So, settle in, and let's honor a true legend whose voice still resonates. Gerald Leonard Spence was born on January 8, 1929, in Laramie, Wyoming, on a frigid night his father described as 20 below and blowin', as recounted in his autobiography, The Making of a Country Lawyer. The son of Gerald Emma Spence, a rail-tie chemist, and Esther Sophie, a homemaker, Gerry grew up in Sheridan, Wyoming, where the family moved shortly after his birth. Raised during the Great Depression, the Spences were solvent but frugal, with Gerry's parents pouring much of their income into a $10,000 insurance policy, a decision driven by his father's love and fear for his family's future, as Gerry later wrote. From age 10, Gerry worked tirelessly, selling flowers, pulling weeds, and peddling his mother's cinnamon rolls door-to-door in Sheridan. His mother's advice to paint them a picture when selling sweet peas shaped his gift for storytelling, a skill that would define his courtroom prowess. A bright but showy student, he skipped second grade, a move he regretted as it left him physically smaller than peers, fueling a lifelong drive to prove himself. The family returned to Laramie, where Gerry graduated from Laramie High School in 1946. He earned a bachelor's degree from the University of Wyoming in 1949 and a law degree in 1952, graduating first in his class. Awarded an honorary Doctor of Laws in 1990, Gerry's early career as Fremont County's prosecuting attorney, 1954-62, and a defense attorney for insurance companies honed his skills, but a pivotal encounter changed his path forever. In the early 1960s, while working for an insurance company, Gerry won a case against a plaintiff he knew was not at fault. Seeing the man's pain in a Safeway checkout line, Gerry apologized, and the plaintiff's response, "That's all right, Mr. Spence. You were just doing your job," sparked a transformation. From that moment on, I decided to do a different job, he wrote in The Life and Legacy of Attorney Gerry Spence. He swore never again to represent corporations, banks, or insurance companies, dedicating his career to individuals fighting big business and government oppression. This shift led to a storied career, as detailed on Wikipedia and Cowboy State Daily. Gerry never lost a criminal jury trial, either as a prosecutor or defense attorney, and went undefeated in civil cases from 1969 to 2010. His high-profile victories included the 1979 Karen Silkwood case, where he secured $10.5 million for her family against Kerr-McGee for exposing her to dangerous radiation, a verdict upheld by the Supreme Court in 1984 and immortalized in the Meryl Streep film Silkwood. In 1992, he defended Randy Weaver in the Ruby Ridge standoff, winning acquittal on murder, assault, and gun charges by exposing FBI misconduct, relying solely on contradictions in the prosecution's case without calling a defense witness. His 1990 defense of Imelda Marcos on racketeering charges in New York, dubbed a trial of the century, ended in acquittal after a 3.5-month battle. Other landmark cases included a $26.5 million libel award for Miss Wyoming Kim Pring against Penthouse in 1981, a $52 million verdict against McDonald's in 1984 for a family-owned ice cream company, and $33.5 million in 1992 for a quadriplegic client against an insurance company. In 2008, at 79, he defended Jeffrey Fieger on campaign contribution charges, maintaining his unbeaten jury trial record. Gerry's brilliance stemmed from his meticulous preparation, arriving at the office at 5 a.m. to craft jury questions and arguments. And his ability to read witnesses, as law partner Bob Schuster told Cowboy State Daily. His flamboyant style, complete with cowboy boots and a fringed jacket, was tempered by discipline, earning him praise as a lawyer par excellence by legal scholar Richard Falk. Beyond the courtroom, Gerry founded the Trial Lawyers College, now Gerry Spence Method, in 1994 at his Thunderhead Ranch in Du Bois, Wyoming, training lawyers to fight for justice, with mentors like Morris Dees and Albert Krieger. He authored over a dozen books, including From Freedom to Slavery, 1993, Win Your Case, 2005, and Police State, How America's Cops Get Away with Murder, 2015, with How to Argue and Win Every Time, 1995, becoming a New York Times bestseller. His media presence included consulting for NBC on the O.J. Simpson trial, appearances on Larry King Live and The Oprah Winfrey Show, and a brief MSNBC talk show hosted from Wyoming. In 2004, he led town hall meetings to defeat Wyoming's Constitutional Amendment D, a tort reform measure, showcasing his activism, as noted on Wikipedia. On August 14, 2025, Gerry Spence passed away at 96 in his Du Bois, Wyoming, home, as reported by Cowboy State Daily. No specific cause of death was disclosed, but his advanced age and prior health issues, including a 2012 hospitalization for pneumonia mentioned in an AP story, suggest natural causes related to aging. Speculation on X about dementia, possibly Lewy body dementia, was unconfirmed. Bob Schuster told Cowboy State Daily that Gerry passed peacefully, surrounded by family, with his wife, Imaging, by his side. Tributes flooded in, with the New York Times calling him a legal titan whose cowboy charisma won hearts and cases. Fans on X praised his defense of the underdog, one writing, "Gerry Spence was the lawyer who gave us hope against the system." His death, alongside other recent losses, marked a poignant moment for the legal world, as National Law Journal noted the end of a transformative era. Gerry's family was his foundation. He married in Wilson in 1948, with whom he had 4 children, names kept private, before their divorce. In 1977, he married Linnell Imaging Spence, whom he called "my love in the making of a country lawyer." Imaging was his rock, with Schuster crediting her common sense and their trust as key to Gerry's success. Gerry raised 2 of Imaging's children, and together they had 6 children and 13 grandchildren. The couple split their time between a 34-acre, 12,000-square-foot estate in Santa Barbara, California, purchased in 1990 for $2.6 million, and their Thunderhead Ranch in Du Bois, Wyoming, where Gerry vowed to die in Wyoming, a promise kept, as noted on WikiWand. Imaging and family were by his side at his passing, and their Du Bois home remained a hub for legal retreats and family gatherings. Gerry's net worth was estimated at $20 million at his death, per Celebrity Net Worth, wiki-n.org, and LuxLux. His wealth stemmed from multi-million-dollar verdicts, including $52 million against McDonald's and $33.5 million in the 1992 insurance case, plus royalties from his best-selling books and speaking engagements. His Trial Lawyers College and media work, including Larry King Live and a 1996 Golden Plate Award from the American Academy of Achievement, added to his finances. He and Imaging owned properties in Santa Barbara and Du Bois, but Gerry prioritized justice over wealth, supporting causes like Lawyers and Advocates for Wyoming, a non-profit law firm he founded. The couple's lifestyle reflected their success but remained grounded in their Wyoming roots. Gerry's lifestyle was a blend of Wyoming ruggedness and intellectual passion. Raised working on ranches, herding sheep, hauling hay. He carried a cowboy ethos into the courtroom, his fringed jacket a symbol of his roots. He and Imaging hosted Trial Lawyers College seminars at Thunderhead Ranch, a sprawling property where they welcomed lawyers, family, and friends. Gerry's love for Wyoming's landscapes was profound, as was his storytelling, reflected in his books and a brief MSNBC talk show hosted from his ranch. Despite his flamboyance, he was disciplined, preparing rigorously for trials, as Schuster recalled to Cowboy State Daily. In later years, he embraced painting, photography, and writing, as noted by InsiderExclusive.com. His 2019 TEDx talk on fighting for justice showed his enduring vigor, despite health setbacks like pneumonia. His faith, though not overtly religious, was rooted in a belief in humanity and justice, guiding his defense of the voiceless, as he wrote in Police State. His final years were spent quietly with Imaging, reflecting on a life of impact. Gerry Spence's legacy is monumental. His unbeaten trial record, Trial Lawyers College, and books inspired generations of lawyers to fight for the marginalized. His defense of Karen Silkwood, Randy Weaver, and Imelda Marcos challenged power, earning him a 2007 Trial Lawyer Hall of Fame induction. To imaging in his family, he was a devoted husband and father. To the legal world, a maverick who redefined advocacy, as the life and legacy of attorney Gerry Spence details. His 2004 tort reform activism preserved Wyoming citizens' rights, and his teachings continue through the Gerry Spence method. His story teaches us to stand for justice, embrace our roots, and face challenges with unrelenting courage. Thank you for joining me in celebrating the extraordinary life of Gerry Spence. If his fight for justice inspired you, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let's keep his legacy alive, defending the voiceless. Until next time, fight for what's right with all your heart.